Hi, my name is Tony from RealMenEatGreen.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious Jamaican meal with some terrific spices. So we're going to start off with some jerk tofu, and I'm going to show you how to make some Jamaican rice and peas right after. I started this off, I just grated some lime peel, and just started off the process there. And so I'm going to cut a lime in half. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the marinade for our tofu. And it's pretty simple. We're going to add everything into a processor here. We got my fancy dancy small one. And this is a great kitchen tool. If you just use your hands, just squeeze the lime. And you can catch the seeds with your hands. So you want the juice of one lime. I'm just gonna add the lime peel. All right, we're gonna need one white onion. And don't worry about mincing it. We're just gonna need a nice rough chop, because it's going to go right into the food processor. All right, I'm going to add a couple cloves of garlic. 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. All right, we just need a coarse chop, just like the onion. This is going to go right into here. And so I was at a market this morning, and I found some awesome young ginger. And the great thing about young ginger is that it smells terrific, but the skin is really thin, so you don't have to worry about peeling it off. It's one thing I don't like about ginger, is peeling and grating. So we're going to grate this right into our processor. So I'm just going to grate about a tablespoon of ginger. Another great thing about young ginger, if you can find it, is that it's also not very bitter. Pop that right in there. Oh, looks like we're ready for some spices. And you're going to notice that there are a lot of spices in here, but that's a fantastic thing about Jamaican food. It's just the complexity of the spices all mixed in there. But if this is a combination that you like, it's really easy just to take the right ratios, or whatever ratios you like of the different spices, and just combine them, and you can quickly whip up a jerk spice for any kind of rub or marinade that you need in the future. So I'm going to show you how I like it. So here's some cayenne. We're going to add about a teaspoon of that into our mixer here. And about a quarter teaspoon of some ground pepper. And the essential allspice, which is a real staple in Jamaican food. Maybe about a teaspoon or 2. About, again, half a teaspoon of some cinnamon. And this is the good stuff. This is the Saigon cinnamon. And about a teaspoon of some nutmeg. All right. And if you can get it, some fresh thyme. It's fantastic in the marinade. We'll need about 2 tablespoons or so. And here's a trick for you guys out there who worked with thyme before. See how the little leaves there? That's the little leaves are what we want. So you start from the top, you just pull down. So we need about 2 tablespoons. And if you don't happen to have some fresh thyme around, that's fine. You can use some dried thyme, and that works great. And it works even better if you want to mix your spices together for a jerk spice mix. So we have our onions, we have our spices, garlic, ginger in there. It's starting to smell really good. We're gonna add a little bit of oil. And I add about maybe a tablespoon. It's usually good enough. We're gonna add about a teaspoon of soy sauce. And usually I use agave nectar, about 3 tablespoons. But today I got some maple syrup. We'll need about 3 tablespoons of that.
Wow.
Add some sweetness. The thing that gives the marinade a real kick is this. This baby is called a habanero, and it is very, very spicy. Traditionally, Scott bonnets are used, but I couldn't find them, so I'm going to use a habanero instead. So we're going to take out the seeds. Be very, very, very careful not to touch your eyes after you work with these. because it will burn a lot. Just gonna add that right in there. So we are ready to give it a whirl. Just gonna give that a taste. Spicy. Wow, it's good though. All right, so our marinade is ready. And so I'm gonna take out our tofu. And the really awesome thing about tofu, or what I like about it the most, is that if you get to know your tofu, you can really do make some fantastic dishes with it. So for this dish, I pressed the tofu. I wrapped it up in some paper towels, and I put a heavy bottle on top to squeeze out all the water. And what that does is kind of turns it into a sponge. And when we put it in the marinade, it's gonna soak up all that flavor. But another thing you can do, when your tofu is in a package, you can pop it in the freezer and let it freeze completely. And when you take it out and thaw it, it leaves a whole bunch of space. It turns it into kind of like a sponge. It's a different texture, and you may like that too. So suggest giving that a try. But today I pressed the tofu. So we're gonna cut it into triangles. Or squares, whatever shape you like. I just make sure they're not too thin, because we're going to be letting them sit for about an hour in the marinade, and we don't want them to break apart. So there's our marinade, full of jerky goodness. All right, just gonna dump that right on top of our tofu. We're gonna cover it up and let it sit for about half an hour. Or if you have a bit more time, an hour is great. I'll give it some time to soak up all that flavor. And give it a good stir about halfway through. All right, let's wrap that up and put it in the fridge. Okay, so it's been about an hour and our tofu is nice and marinated. You can see all the awesome Jamaican spices in there.
Looks really nice.
So that's ready. We're gonna heat up our pan. We get that nice and hot on medium-high heat. That's ready. We'll add some olive oil. It's time to add the tofu. I'll try to keep out as much marinade as you can. We're gonna cook each side for about 6 minutes so we get some nice golden brownie action. Got my trusty chopsticks. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. We've browned it on all sides. I'm gonna shut off the heat. It's time to eat.
Nice, looks delicious.
All right, you see a little bit of char on each side, so it's kind of nice too. Put some flavor. Add it on top of our rice and peas. You can really smell those spices in there. Yeah, I hope you give it a try. It's a simple way to spice up your dinner or your lunch. And yeah, give the Jamaican flavors a try. You can use it on anything really for a great marinade. So for more recipes, check out realmeneatgreen.com.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Wonderful.